A step parenting expert, Kris Byrnes.
Women's mindset coach and stepmom, Kris Byrnes.
Welcome to the Step Parent Podcast. Hey, my love, and welcome to the very first episode of the Step Parent Podcast. If you've been around for a while, you might already know me and my other podcast, Inside Out with Kris. The show I started 7 years ago from my dining room table with a baby on my lap and a toddler running around and 2 school-aged girls. I had a heart full of stories that I needed to tell. That podcast became a space where I interviewed some of Australia's most iconic names and everyday women with extraordinary stories. It grew beyond what I ever imagined because it was real, because it was raw, and because it was honest. But as I've evolved, so has my work. I've spent years helping women step back into their power through coaching, mindset work, shadow work, emotional intelligence, and radical responsibility. But one thing kept calling me louder than anything else, and it's step parenting. I'm a stepmom of almost a decade now. I've got 2 stepdaughters, 2 biological kids, and we're a big blended family that's beautifully messy and wildly human. And this space, the Step Parent Podcast, is born from that. Let's be honest, being a step parent is not for the faint-hearted. It's full of love, growth, frustration, and 1,000 invisible moments that most people will never understand unless they've lived it. It challenges every part of who you think you are, your identity, your boundaries, your patience, your self-worth. But it also cracks you open to levels of love and awareness that you never knew existed. This podcast is for the ones who are doing their best to hold it all together. The ones navigating blended families, co-parenting dynamics, complex ex relationships, and learning to find the peace in the chaos. This isn't a space for perfection. It's a space for truth. Each week, you can expect an episode that will guarantee that you move the needle in your blended family life. It will guarantee that you are taking responsibility and radical ownership of your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. It will guarantee, if you choose to let it, that you can transform your blended family from surviving to thriving. I'm also bringing a really exciting segment to the podcast called If I'm Honest. If I'm Honest is almost like Vault Conversations. It's a space for you to drop in anonymously with a voice note. You'll find the link on my website, or it'll also be in the show notes of each episode each week. It's completely anonymous, a safe space where you can share your truth, your story, your rage, or even something hilarious or wild that's happened in your blended family life. And also, if you're a stepchild or had step parents growing up, this can be that too. This isn't about being polished, it's about being real. Because someone out there needs to know that they're not the only one. Your voice note will always be altered to protect your identity. No names or identifying details will ever be shared. And anything mentioned will be bleeped out if it's done on accident. That I can promise you. And if you're not a voice note person, that's totally fine. You can also send through your story via email, and I'll read it on the segment. You can choose to be coached by me through it, which can be incredibly valuable for your growth and experience, or you can simply share what's on your heart. We'll soon be bringing guest episodes to this podcast, and I cannot wait to share those conversations with you also. This podcast is here to remind you that you are not broken, you are not alone, and you're not crazy. You're not crazy for feeling the way that you do. You're freaking human, and you're doing something that takes extraordinary strength. So please, if this resonates with you, I'd love if you can hit follow on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. It's going to really help me to grow this community into what I know that it can become. And make sure that you're following along on social media. You'll find me on TikTok and Instagram, where I share daily insights, real talk, and moments that make you feel seen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be a part of this movement, and welcome to the Step Parent Podcast.